If the profit of company A is represented by P is equal to 500D plus 2,000, and the profit of company B is represented by P is equal to 400D plus 3,000, after how many days will company B exceed the profit margin of A? So it would be nice to know where they're going to intersect. We're already told that company B will exceed after the intersection point. All right, so let's figure out where they intersect. Again, we can see that we have two equations where P is already isolated. If P is already isolated, then it would make sense for me to substitute in the value of P for one equation into the other. So 500D plus 2,000 is equal to 400D plus 3,000, where we will subtract 2,000 from the one side. 500D is equal to 400D plus 1,000. So now we will subtract 400 from both sides, and 100D is equal to 1,000. All right, now we will divide by 100, noticing that 1 0 will cancel out for each, and D is equal to 10. Well, we just need to know what D represented. It says after how many days, and so it makes sense that D would represent days. So after 10 days. Betsy makes $5 an hour for babysitting and $8 an hour for cleaning houses. Betsy wants to work a minimum of 10 hours per week. Write a graph a system of inequalities to illustrate how many hours Betsy needs to work at each job if she wants to earn at least $80 each week. Explain how to use the graph to determine the possible solutions. So let's first write our equations so we know what we're graphing. 5 hours for babysitting, and we're going to let babysitting represent X. We're going to let cleaning houses represent Y. All right. So $5 per X plus $8 per Y should equal a total of, once at least, so we need that value to be greater than or equal to 80. Now, X and Y, the number of hours that she's working, must be a minimum of 10. So she wants to work at least 10 hours. All right, since we're graphing on a number line, let's go ahead and write these into slope intercept form just to make things a little bit easier. X plus Y is greater than or equal to 10, so subtract X minus X. Y is greater than or equal to negative X plus 10. Let's get that on our graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Negative X means it's going down 1 over 1. Should hit every intersecting corner. Oh, that was a horrible line. You'll get the point though. And it was less than greater than or equal to. So we're looking for every value above it. Next equation. do it in a different color. 5x plus 8y is greater than or equal to 80. Subtract 5x from both sides. So 8y is greater than or equal to negative 5x plus 80. Divide by 8 on both sides. Y is greater than or equal to negative 5/8x plus 10. Alright, so we're starting at the same point. We just have a different slope. This slope goes down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 8. And so we want to connect those two dots. And again, we want the values to be greater than. So, how am I going to use the graph to explain the possible solutions? Any solution where x is above the green line and y is above the green line will satisfy this system of equations. Write and solve a system of equations. First equation passes through the points 1, 4, and 5, 8. Let's start with that one. We're given two ordered pairs and we want an equation, so we need to know the slope. Remember, slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That equation is not going to go away anytime soon. So that will be equal to, let's label these points so we don't mess up, 8 minus 4 over 5 minus 1. 8 minus 4 is 4. 5 minus 1 is 4. So we have a slope of 1. Well, that's great and dandy. But we now need to take our slope and at least one of our ordered pairs to find the equation. Y equals mx plus b. We now know a y value is 4. Equals the m value, which is 1. The x value is 1. Plus the b value. 1 times 1 is 1. We'll subtract 1 from both sides, and 3 is equal to b. That gives us finally an equation. Y is equal to 1x plus 3. Second equation has a slope of negative 2 and a y-intercept of 6. That was nice. We got all the information we need. Y equals negative 2x plus 6. Well, it's good that we got all the information we need because we still have a good bit of work to do. We're looking for solving the system of equations. So now that we've written the equations, we need to solve. I have y very isolated, so it would make sense for me to plug that y value in. So x plus 3 is equal to negative 2x plus 6, where we add 2x to both sides. 3x plus 3 is equal to 6. Let's subtract 3 from both sides. 3x is equal to 3. And so we can see already that x is equal to 1. Alright, in order to find my y value, I need to plug x into one of my equations. Let's use the easier one, y equals x plus 3. So 1 plus 3 is equal to y. So y would be equal to 4. Our solution, 1, 4. Write and solve the system of equations. Now, guess what? What's already been done? The solve part has already been done. Negative 3, negative 1. We just need to remember how to write an equation for a line. This is a vertical line, which is not a function, which means it's going to start with an x equals equation. At what value does x equal on this line? X equals negative 3. The next equation is not much more complicated, especially if we write it in slope intercept form, because we are already given the intercept of 2. We just need to find the slope. Well, we know our points intersect here evenly. They intersect here evenly, so they have a rise of 3 and a run of 3. 3 over 3 is 1. Write a system of inequalities and name a solution. Well, let's start with name a solution, because you can have an infinite number of solutions here. It's an inequality, which means everything that is shaded is a solution. So I'm going to go ahead and take the easy cop out. 0, 0 is the origin point. I can see that it is a solution. Now let's work on equations. We have a horizontal line, and every horizontal line is going to have the y equals format, but this has a dotted. So we want a greater than or less than sign. Notice that my values are below the line, so we want y values that are less than 1, 2, 3. Halfway there. Next equation I would write in slope intercept form again, so we want y values. Notice we're shading below the line, so we want y values that are less than. We have an intercept of 1, so plus 1 is going to be my b. Let's find our slope. We need 2 points. There's 1 point. There's 1 point. We've come down 2. We've come over 2. Negative 2 over 2 is negative 1. So we end up with negative 1x. So our solution, y is less than negative x plus 1. Y is less than 3. One solution that would work is 0, 0. Now you can name any solution that's down here in the gray section and you will be accurate.